Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Imran Saeed, and today we are going to start the third chapter of human computer interaction, and the title of that chapter is the interaction. So let's start with the definition of interaction. In fact, whenever we have two components or two things and they communicate with each other, this is known as interaction. So the definition is interaction is the communication between two or more elements. So now these elements can be two humans or more humans that are talking to each other, or two devices that are sending and receiving data, that means communicating with each other. So this is the definition of interaction. When we talk about or talk in terms of human computer interaction, in that case by HCI we mean that the communication between a computer and a human computer interaction. So interaction between a human and a computer. We have different models of interaction in HCI, and today we will study the first model, the classic model, that has the title Norman's Execution Evaluation Cycle, or Norman's Execution Evaluation Model. In fact, this is most important model in HCI. It has two major phases, as the title describes, execution and evaluation. So in fact, these two phases, execution and evaluation, have been again divided into 7 stages or 7 steps. So we can learn this model by looking at the steps and then giving example for that every heading or every step. So let me read out for you only the titles or the steps of the model, and then we will go with an example. First one is establishing the goal, then forming the intention, specifying the action sequence, then executing the action, then perceiving the system state, then interpreting the system state, and then evaluating the system state with respect to the goals and intentions. These are just the headings, and now we will consider and we will try to understand this model with the help of an example. Say I am reading some book and I'm sitting in my room where there is enough light, but around sunset I feel like that there is some difficulty in reading the book. So I have a goal to increase the light. So my first step, establish the goal. Although we feel like that we do a thing within no time, but in fact our brain goes through all these 7 steps. So when I'm reading a book and I feel like light is lesser for reading that book, so number 1, I will establish the goal. So check what is the goal. Need light to read the book. So that is my goal. Now it is up to me whether I make the intention, I form the intention, I say okay, let's increase the light, or I just close the book and I say okay, I'm no more reading. So now if I am forming the intention that I should increase the light, then I will try to find out the action sequence in the third step. How to increase the light? Should I turn on some lamp or the bulb, or ask some other person to turn on the light for me? So my brain is thinking how to do that. So I have few action sequences or few options that I can adopt. So now when I have the sequence of actions, I can at the 4th step execute the action. I perform those actions. So I execute the action specified in step 3. So I will either turn on the lamp or the bulb, or as I said, I have another sequence. I will ask younger brother or sister to turn on the light for me. So whatever I have specified, those action would be executed in the step number 4. So till step 4, in fact, we have executed. We have performed the execution. We have established the goal, need the light, formed the intention, yes I should. Then I try to find out the way how to turn that lamp on or light on, how to increase it. Then I have performed the actions. And in the 5th step, We just perceive the system state. We do not interpret. As I told you in the class, that there is a difference between perception and interpretation. Perception is getting the stimuli. Your eye, your ear gets the stimuli, and then brain tries to interpret, tries to get the meaning out of it. So now check. When I turned on the light, or I get it turned on, ask my younger brother or sister to turn on the light. So very first thing after the fourth step, I will perceive the system state, that did something happen. So there is something, the stimuli will go to my eye. It will not be interpreted that light is on or off, but yes, that stimuli reach to my eye, and that is perception. That is perceiving the system state. Once that perception goes to my eyes, it is sent to the brain, and now in the next step, the brain interprets the system state. Whatever eyes have sent to the brain, now I will check light is on or not. So my brain is performing all these 6-7 steps in no time, but in fact our brain has this activity. So it interprets what happened, light is on or not. So once I get to know, yes, light is on, but again I will have to evaluate the system state with respect to the goals and intention. I needed more light to read the book. So now how I will evaluate? I will question, is light enough for reading? I'll try to read the book. If I can read it well, excellent. And if I feel like, no, it is not good, I need more light, so again I'll go to step 1. Again I will establish the goal. Okay, now I must turn on the tube light or a bigger bulb or something. Then I will form the intention. Then I will specify the actions. Then I will perform or execute the action. I will perceive the system state, interpret, and then evaluate. So this is the circle or cycle in which that particular model moves, and we can very easily understand how a human thinks, how a human brain works when he is doing or she is doing something. So same is on the computer. If I am trying to make a document, execute an application, or copy a file or save a file, so in fact my brain is performing all these 7 steps, right? So that is how the first model, that is Norman's execution evaluation model, works. So these 4 steps are for the execution, and these 2 steps help us to move towards the 7th step to evaluate. So these 3 are for evaluation. So this is the Norman's model. I taught you one example in the class, and you all did that, how you can make some text in Word prominent. So you all were right, and you all gave me the correct answer. Sir, we will make a goal that we need this heading or this text prominent. Then, sir, we will make our intention. Should we or not? And if we say that yes, we should make it prominent, then we specify the action. Either we will make it bold, or we will increase the font size, or we will make it underline, whatever sequence you think. Then in the 4th step, you execute. You select the text, you either press the Control B, or you go in the ribbon, that is the toolbar, and from there you click bold, right? Or you increase the font, whatever you have specified in step 3. In step 4, you will perform those actions. Then in 5th step, your eyes will get the stimulus, right? It will get the image, perception, and then that perception, that image will be sent to the brain. And in the 6th step, your brain will interpret, has it been made bold, or has it been underlined, or the font size has been increased. So in fact it will interpret, and it will tell you, yes, it seems the font is prominent now, or the text is prominent now. Now you evaluate with your goal how much prominent you wanted to have it. So what will you evaluate, and how will you evaluate? You will look at it and you will say, no, it is not that much prominent. I must go to step 1 and I will do it again. So your brain moves again to the step 1, and you would have seen in the real life when you are doing something, you do it 2, 3, 4 times, because you are executing and evaluating. Executing, no, it is not that prominent, I must make it underline. I think it is not again prominent, I must make the heading highlighted so that it must get prominent. So you are doing it with the help of these 7 steps, right? So that was the example. I gave you the reading assignment, human error, 2 kinds of errors, that is slip and mistakes, and I told you about these in the class as well, but I need you, or I just advise you all to study it from the book in detail, right? And I told you about the basic point of gulf of execution and gulf of evaluation. But still, in order to get the details, you have this reading assignment, so you all have to read that out. Now we have the second model, and this is known as the interaction framework, right? You all, sometime when I ask you what is the interaction framework or how interaction framework works, you normally start describing in the test, in the quiz, about the Norman's interaction model, right? Execution, evaluation. So please make sure this interaction framework, interaction model, in fact is the extension to the Norman's model. It is not Norman's model, it is some extended kind of model, that is extension in Norman's model. Why and how we needed that extension? In fact, you can see that in this model, in Norman model, we are only talking about the human, how he makes the goal, how he forms the intention, how he specifies. So there is no part of the system, though no part of the computer. So now check. In fact, it is extension to the Norman model, and it also deals with the system's communication, how system replies, responds, right? Performs some output or gives some output. So now we can say that in this model, interaction framework or extended model, 4 components are there: system, user, input and output. In the Norman model, we were just looking at the user, how he thinks, how he feels, how he executes, how he observes and how he evaluates. But now here is a system. So now this particular framework will discuss also about the system, how system performs, how system replies, then its reply, that is the output of the system, is perceived by the user. So we will check all these things in the interaction framework or extended model. How it works: again, user forms a goal, finds some task to do, he input the task to the machine, right? He has to click, he has to speak, he has to write a command, whatever the mode is, but he has to tell the machine, tell the computer, tell the tab, tell the mobile what to do. So nowadays we speak, we articulate, we say something to the mobile and it performs. But in the past, we used to write down the command. In Windows, we used to click or double click. So we input, then system transforms and executes. System in fact takes that command, it interprets, right? And it executes that command. And then whatever is processed or produced, it is shown as the output, shown as the result. So user forms a goal and try to find out the task, inputs through the command, and I told you command in terms of typing, in terms of clicking, in terms of saying something, right, speaking, or sometimes just the gestures, right, your hands movement, your eye movement, so you can give it the command. Now check how it works. Here is the user, here is the system. User wants to do something, so in fact he or she has to articulate, has to say, has to provide that particular command to the system, right? So user will articulate This is articulation process when user is telling the system what to do. And I told you we can tell by speaking, by touching the screen, by clicking or double clicking the mouse, by writing the command, by gesture, anything. So user is articulating, giving the input, and then that input is performed by the or executed by the system. System's part is performance. Over here we have system part. So system is doing what? It is performing, it is executing. For example, if I say that copy the file, so I articulated that command to copy the file, and then system performed that. It copied or tried to copy, and once it is done, system presents, it tells us, okay, it has been done, I have done that. And once it has been done, it shows us either the file is shown in the new folder or the new place, and that is the output in fact. And user can observe from that output, he can observe the file has been copied to the new position, the file has been deleted. So user is observing. So I can say that we have 4 different processes that are going on. User articulates or tells the computer what to do in the form of input. System performs that, executes that, and then presents that, okay, it has been done, and it is in the form of output, and that output is either shown on the screen, it is in the printout or anything else, and then the user observes. Now let me give you an example from the real life. Whenever we are on a trip or we are in some party, so we ask our friends, okay, take my camera, take my mobile, and take a group picture. So normally a user articulates, he clicks the button or he clicks the video recording button, whatever we want to do, take a picture or take a small video clip. So he just clicks that button, that goes as input to the system, sets the input to the system, and system tries to perform. What does it perform? In fact, it clicks the picture, it takes the picture, and now it presents that the picture has been taken. You would have seen in some corner of your mobile, depending upon which mobile you are using, that a picture appears that it has been taken, right? And that is shown on some corner of the camera screen, and you can see from that output, you can observe, okay, yes, picture is there. Or you can click, you can open the picture and you can check. So again, user clicks the button, input goes to the system, it performs, then it shows that picture in a very small icon somewhere on the screen. That is the output, and user observes from that. So that is how the interaction model works. Again, I say that if I want the same example, I want to make some text prominent, the user will articulate it. He will select the text, he will either click Control B or something, then system will process, it will make it bold, and it will be presented as an output on the screen that the text has been made bold, and then user will look at that output, that the text is bold or not, so he is observing. So articulation, performance, presentation, and observations are 4 important things in this model. Now it tells us about an ineffective interaction in which there can be some problem. So design focus is in your book, and this book gives you so many design focuses in which you can learn from the real life examples. So here it is giving us an example of a video recorder. For example, if we want to record from a VCR through remote control, so now check, my remote control and VCR are my system. Okay, you will say, sorry, these are 2 systems. No, it is one system. In fact, in order to communicate with the system, I am using a remote control, right? So system is remote control plus the VCR. So now user not able to communicate. He does not know what to do with that particular remote control, or how to use it, or how to start the recording. He has no idea how to do it. That means he cannot articulate. He cannot tell the system what to do. He cannot tell the system start recording. So if he is not able, then it is articulation problem. I told you, when user gives the input, tells the system what to do, it is articulation. If user does not know how to use that particular remote control to record something, then it is articulation problem. That is, user is unable to tell the system what to do. Second thing, remote control. Now, as I told you, remote control is part of the system. VCR and remote control is our system, because we are giving input through the remote control. So now remote control lacks the ability to select the channels. In fact, my remote control does not have any option to record. So in that case, it means the system is unable to perform. System is not able to record. And that is known as performance problem. Now let me explain it again. User knows how to use the remote control. He is looking at the remote control, but unfortunately when he tries to give the input, the system is not performing. That means it doesn't have got that ability to record. So in this case, in fact, that will be performance problem. That is, system is unable to record, unable to perform. Now again check, articulation problem, performance problem. Now let's say user knew how to articulate, he knew how to communicate, he knew how to give the input, and remote control had the ability to record. It had all the functions in it. So articulation was good, no problem. Performance was good, no problem. But now VCR is recording. It is recording. But in fact, VCR panel is not showing me any symbol, any red light, anything with the help of which I may feel that it is recording. So I am confused. I am thinking, maybe it is recording or maybe it is not recording. What is going on? So in fact, when system does not show us any message, any symbol, then that is known as presentation problem. Check. User gave the right input, the right command, the right order to do something. System performed. It was recording, but in fact system was not showing any symbol on the panel or anywhere on the VCR. So that was the presentation problem. Now again, user gave the right command, knew how to use the VCR, he gave the right command, the VCR recorded, and panel showed a small dot somewhere, or some R somewhere, or some red dot somewhere, but user cannot interpret. He could not observe that. He could not understand what does that mean. So that is known as observation problem. My VCR is recording. It is showing me somewhere some dot, but I am unable to observe that. I am unable to interpret that. So that will be known as observation problem, that we are not able to observe. Check. User gave the command, system performed, and system showed, and then user could not observe, could not interpret, could not understand. So that would be observation problem. So you will have to check different things. For example, I give you a reading assignment, how to take a video clip from a mobile, right, and then discuss the ineffective interaction. What can be the problems? How can I not know how to take a picture from your mobile, because I have not used that mobile before, and maybe your mobile has some different functionality, so I am unable to articulate. Then your mobile phone takes the picture and it performed, right, but I am just thinking it is performing or not. Why? Because I do not know how it present. Maybe there is a small dot or small r or something red, so you will feel like, oh yes, it is doing, it is recording, right? But if it is not presenting, then I will not be able to understand. And then if it is presenting, if it is showing me some dot and I am unable to see that dot, that sign, that command or that icon, that is telling me I am recording, I have taken the picture. So it is observation problem. So you will have to read about it by yourself, and just get ready that we have to go through a quiz. Okay, so that's all for this small lecture. We have studied two models, and I hope that it will be helpful for you. And people normally say that these are difficult, and I always say that these are very much simple. You just try to apply it in real life, with computer, with gadgets, with machines that you are using, and you will find the 7 steps are so easy to apply somewhere. These 4 different steps are so easy to apply if we are studying the extended model. So try to relate with the real life, and you will not need to memorize. In fact, you will understand, right? So do that, inshallah. I hope that you all will perform well. So thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.